Dorian Yates of 1993 and Ronnie Coleman of 1999. Two of the greatest bodybuilding versions of all time. Arguably, both of these guys will go down in history as the greatest bodybuilder of all time. But guys, which one was better? Which one was better, the 93 Yates or the 99 Coleman? This is a debate that will go down forever, into the end of time, until the sun burns out and the earth explodes. But anyway, we don't have to think about that right now. We have a matchup to contend with, and these two here, this is the main event of my entire channel. It's days like this that make life worth living. This is going to be an awesome matchup. I'm a little bit nervous because there's a lot of Dorianites. Of course, there is a lot of Ronnie Coleman's minions or disciples or whatever you would call them, just as numerous as the Dorianites. So before you pick a battle in the comments section below, expect a war, guys, because both sides armed, ready to go. I can understand where some people could give the front relaxed to Dorian Yates. Because of the silhouette, I actually like his shape, his waistline, his aesthetics, and you can't forget the calves. Of course, Ronnie Coleman, you can't play favorites because of tastes in this. Ronnie Coleman's just so much bigger. Look at the legs. He has a funny looking set of calves though, and that really gets drawn out into this matchup. You can see that for sure. Still, Dorian might be losing a little edge here in the front relaxed. Of course, when we turn these buses around. Now, I made Ronnie a little bit shorter here, even though they are about the exact same height. It's because of the camera angle. I could have even made him a little bit shorter, because when the camera gets low underneath you, let's face it, you shouldn't be as tall. You'd be twice as wide. But anyway, enough about that foolish explanation. Dorian Yates. I hear the phrase, pictures do this man no justice. Take a look. He's harder. He's grainier. Look at the conditioning. And even in the glutes. Ronnie's glutes, yes, they are huge. But Dorian's, if you take a close look, they're just as striated, I'm here to tell you. So I'm excited about this. Dorian gets a slight edge in the rear. Ronnie gets a slight edge in the front. So the symmetry round is kaput, and I prefer that. Let's head on in to these, the mandatory shot. Oh, we're beginning with the most muscular? I guess we're doing this competition bass-ackwards. But in actuality, guys, I began with this one because this one's a no contest. I would have hated to end this with this one because there's no anticipation. Ronnie Coleman, just way better than Dorian. And there is several poses like this, guys, and we know that. These guys are built for a match with each other. This is a Dorian Yates, this is a Ronnie Coleman pose. Even in the hands clasped, we didn't have to show this one, but Ronnie Coleman was calling for it. Yeah, I wanna show this English man. Well, how they do it in Texas. You see, he's much better than Dorian Yates in this pose. But we will also begin our second pose with this one here. And in my opinion, even though Ronnie Coleman has the edge in the legs, Dorian Yates has this one in the bag. If you know me and my judging, you know I focus more on the abs than the legs, unless it's a total, just washout. But it is a washout, it is a total blowout as far as the abs and the upper body are concerned, even the lats. Dorian just built for this pose. Of course, I am so glad that I waited to do this match, because I hate to pick favorites, and if I judge a certain way for long enough, you guys get used to it. You know me and my symmetry, and my aesthetic poses, my more muscular poses, and this one, let's face it, there's no argument. You know I would have picked Yates for this one. So we begin with a couple of easy shots, get them out of the way, tie game, and this one here, this is the same thing. There's just no way that Ronnie Coleman was ever going to touch Dorian Yates in the side tricep. Wow! Look at Yates. Just unreal. He really draws that let's just say it, that ugliness of Ronnie Coleman's physique. Here in the side tricep? You telling me that Ronnie Coleman has a top 10 pose for every pose he has? No. This was bottom of the line, the side tricep. But let's not pick at these guys. I mean, they're the greatest of all time. Dorian gets a point. Big deal. Ronnie Coleman's getting a point in the front double bicep. So are we beginning the poses in this order? Or is this another blowout pose that we're getting out of the way? I know I've heard it before. Dorian Yates, oh, if you really look, his front double biceps, awesome. Yeah, his physique is good. His lats are awesome. His waistline, destroying Ronnie. I'd be inclined to believing that. But let's face it, this is a front double bicep pose. And you know me and my judging. I really focus on those biceps. Not so much for the rear double bi, but the front double bi. Arms. All day, daily, baby please, Louis Marco. He's a fellow Canadian, you know, Louis Marco. But either way, enough about him. Dorian Yates gets an easy shot, an easy point. And the front lat spread. Now, I'm not a Dorianite. I am doing this pose, guys. I'm not just going to skip it. Because Ronnie Coleman looks fantastic. Let's face it. But if you really look right underneath of his biceps, you can see the lats. They jet in towards the chest a little bit. They're not Dorian-esque, so to speak. Let's bring up another one. And it was actually hard to get pictures of Dorian, or Ronnie Coleman, rather, in the front lat spread. And look, it's just a little bit unsymmetrical, is Ronnie Coleman. Of course, there was this one backstage, and that's probably the clearest picture of a front lat spread for Ronnie Coleman. Not his best shot in 1999, I will say. But Dorian Yates, the clear winner in this one. So for all you Dorianites, you can give a sigh of relief. Ronnie Coleman's not beating him in this shot. The side chest, however, will be going to Coleman. I had a very difficult time to get the sizes correctly. It's a very odd camera angle for both guys, in fact. The Dorian Yates, the chest itself does look fantastic, but it was his arm and just the whole placing. There was another one here of Dorian, and the more you search through the pictures, really the worse it gets for him, his arm. And you can see what I mean about the sizes. It was hard to get them correctly. I probably could have stood to made Dorian a little bit larger, but it's more of the shape. And I'm not a huge fan of the Coleman side chest either. But in my opinion, there's no real debate. Coleman has this one for sure, for sure. And most of the poses, or every one of these poses, has been a victory without any controversy at all. But we have saved the back comparisons, till the end. And I'm here to tell you, this is going to be war. There's going to be some backlash. There's going to be people saying that the pictures do Dorian no justice. If there was clear pictures, he would be better. And no, I can see there is a hard conditioning of Dorian's back that is more conditioned than Ronnie Coleman. But look at Ronnie Coleman's wings. Of course, there's another one. And I do like this one of Dorian. It's a good one, but it doesn't show the other leg. Clearly, you can see his conditioning is harder, but Ronnie has lines and size, just unbelievable. I would wager to say, if these two stood side by side and flapped those lats out into the rear lat spread, I do believe Ronnie Coleman would take it. Look at the mountains of traps. Now, there is, yes, Dorian, I see this one, and his lats do look a little bit better, I will say, and of course, he's going to always have the calves, but I don't know. I just think with that Christmas tree area, and yes, I do agree, if the lighting was better, you could probably see Dorian's better, but look at the top of Ronnie Coleman's traps. I mean, my soul. A close shot, guys, but Ronnie Coleman gets this one. Rear double bicep. This is a better pose for Yates. All you Dorianites are looking at this comparison right now, just salivating, thinking, tell it like it is, Max Muscle. You hate it when I tell it like it is when I don't favor Dorian, but you know this is a deserved Dorian pose, so you're salivating, waiting for Mark's Max Muscle to tell it like it is. Tell it, Mark, tell it. Tell about the hard, grainy conditioning. Tell about the just giant traps of Dorian Yates, the Christmas tree this time. Blows Ronnie Coleman out of the whatever. What a pose for Yates. Look at the traps, guys. Look at the rock-hard conditioning in comparison. This is a Dorian Yates pose, without a doubt in my opinion, but that rear lat spread saved Ronnie Coleman from a loss in both back shots. And you know what? You know what, guys? This is a tie game. There was no dispute any of these shots, in my opinion. These guys were designed to do battle with each other. I'm here to tell you right now. So we're going to have to rely on something else besides the mandatories. Obviously, the symmetry round was even for the two. Let's turn them around and look at the backs. Now, this is conditioning, guys. This is the conditioning, the type of condition that a bodybuilder is in. We can't find a winner with the mandatories, the symmetry round. So let's have a good look at their Christmas trees. And I can hear you, minions of Ronnie Coleman, getting mad right now. But this is a very unclear picture of the Coleman, the king. So I'll bring the 1998 version up. A little controversial. He may have even been slightly better as far as the Christmas tree conditioning in 1998. So this is fair for Ronnie Coleman. And you guys know, you Dorianites, once again, you were already salivating. And you're just chomping at the bit for me to announce who won this. If it's based on this Christmas tree pose, guys, which really means which athlete was in better condition. And it is your winner. He is your winner. And you know who it is. The Shadow. Dorian Yates of 1993. Perhaps the greatest version of any bodybuilder to have ever stepped out onto the stage in front of an audience. And he showed the world what Dorian Yates is made out of, all that hard training. I'm telling you guys, this was a close one and a very controversial one as well. But for me, it was it, that hard condition. I mean, look at even this shot here. The man was in such good condition that size really was not relevant. And I do believe that's why Ronnie Coleman really shined in 1998. And prior to that, he was not the most conditioned man out on the stage. He perhaps was when Dorian Yates was taken out of the equation. But before that, Dorian Yates put everybody in his place with that type of conditioning that no other bodybuilder could touch. He is your winner, guys. All you minions of the Ronnie Coleman, you're going to have to deal with it. But it was close, guys. Hold your head up high. Ronnie Coleman, perhaps the second best bodybuilder of all time. Of course, the doctor would have something to say about that. Anyway, guys, this was a main event. I'd like to hear other bodybuilding YouTuber channels do this one. The Rage Master. Mikey's Iron Rage. Come on, do this match. Who's better? 93 Yates? 99 Coleman? Anyway, I believe he already did the match on his other channel. Not so sure if he did it on his new channel or not. I apologize if you already did that one, Mikey, but hey, here's a free shout out anyway. Anyway, guys, hit a thumbs up. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button. This was the main event, guys. This was it. Dorian Yates, greatest of all time. Have a good one.